All right, girls, this is a video on our Play with Your Brain book. I'm trying to do a summary of the key concepts from each of the chapters. This video is all about Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. Chapter 3 is We Want Width. Chapter 4 is Discover Depth. I really like both of these chapters. We Want Width is all about how we use the field side to side, and Discovering Depth is all about moving up and down the field. So two key concepts on We Want Width. Wingers, let's talk about wingers and outside backs, how that creates width. And let's talk about attacking gaps and moving across the field laterally. Simple quote in the beginning of this chapter is, in simple terms, soccer is all about when you have possession of the ball, which in the case of the blue team right now, we have possession of the ball, we want to make the field bigger. So we want to get wider. We want to create depth this way. When we lose possession of the ball, we actually want to compress and make the field smaller and clog up the middle, right? And get in the way of the other team and then try to win back possession. So wingers and outside backs, these are in our 4-4-2. This is our 4-4-2 formation. Our outside backs and wingers on both sides of the field are the key elements of creating width. We want our two center backs, two center midfielders, and two strikers, more or less to be staying, generally speaking, in the middle of the field. These four players are the width that we're creating as we move. So a couple of keys, that's one key concept. Here's the wingers and outside backs create the width. We also want to use them in terms of different passing patterns, right? So we can use, if we didn't, I'm going to give you an example of not creating width, right? If we were all bunched up and we're coming in here, it's very difficult to create a passing pattern here. We could pass into this person, for example, but we've got immediate pressure, right? If we create more width, we can then create opportunities to move the ball and switch sides very quickly, where there's not a lot of red players in that particular area. So keep things wide. That'll give us opportunities to switch sides. If we're moving one way and we get clogged up, we can quickly move back to the other side. We can also use this concept as an example on the attack. Let's say our winger's up on the attack. We've got three defenders coming back. Our two strikers are coming in. Our other winger is coming out this side. All of these players would be moving up too. Let's say this person comes to pressure. We could create an opportunity where we have a pass here. We could then attack the gap and send this ball right through this gap. Winger could run on there and shoot. So there's all kinds of different combinations that we can use. If we create these angular passes, one of the things I've noticed us doing quite a bit is we'll get the ball here and then we'll try to just immediately dribble forward through into the center of the goal. And sometimes kicking the ball from too far out. When we have opportunities to do a split pass, here's a perfect opportunity. Right through this gap, this player runs onto it, takes a shot on goal. So that's what we mean by attacking the gaps. Look for these gaps, we call them seams as well, and create these angular passes to get through an attack. Let's talk about depth. Depth is, we're going to talk about the center backs and the midfielders, as well as playing backwards to score. So one of the things that we like to do is create our center backs and our center midfielders are really sort of form this center, along with our strikers, also form this center sort of piece of the field here. And one of the things I've noticed is, we'll have our center backs and our center midfielders squished together like this. We have these big holes in the field, for example, where we don't have the depth and the coverage there. So we need to spread out, create this depth. That'll give us opportunities for more passing combinations. So let me give you a scenario here. Let's say our outside back, our fullback has the ball and is looking at opportunities. We've talked about passing into the seams. One of the things we can do here is this center midfielder can check in here. This player could check in here, actually. Now we've got two passing options. Versus just staying flat like in this, right? If we're in this flat position, we only have one passing option. We can create another passing option by this person checking in and passing here. We could also do a pass back here and cross it off the other side in those cases. So that's what I mean by having the center backs and the midfielders kind of work together and create this depth, this spacing here to create different passing combinations. Another thing that is in the book that I really like, and I've seen this a lot in the games, is we'll get the ball. Let's say our winger will get the ball. We're up on the attack. Everybody's moving up, which is great. We're up on the attack. We start to come in towards the goal. Their defenders, if they're doing a good job, they come in and clog up the middle, and we'll try to take a shot from here, which is a low probability chance, low chance of actually scoring. Play backwards to score. One of the things that I think we can really take advantage of is opportunities to pass back to the top of the box to either a striker or perhaps the center midfielder, one of the center mids. Pass back here and take a shot from here. So we can always go backwards to score. We don't have to continually going forward. So think about depth as both moving up and back, and sometimes you have to go back to go forward, right? So think about that as we're going, and thank you so much.